Happy New Year! Happy New Year, everyone! Hello, Chaos Hammer, Ninja Gal. Hello, chat. Happy New Year. It is January 2nd, 2023. Look at that. Another year. Fireworks. Maybe, hello. Maybe this year, if everything goes well in the following months, maybe the command for raffle will finally work, right? But for now, feel free to try. Hello, everyone. New year, new chapter in life, yes. And here in Lore Academia, we'll be reading many chapters. More specifically, chapters in Rising Shadows storyline for the Moonshae Isles. Hello, everyone. I am DMPaulG, or also known as Paul Gabbett. I am an adventure writer, tabletop, RPG, game designer. I'm also one of the storyline coordinators for the Moonshae Isles under Baldman Games, together with the super awesome Savannah Houston-McIntyre, which will be really cool because the next adventure that we'll be reading is actually written by her. Yep. So we will get a taste of how cool she writes, or how terrifying. We'll see. But yeah, everything that we're because for those who don't know, me and Savannah are creating a new storyline for the Moonshae Isles, following the Rising Shadows storyline that was made, or actually by led by Eric Mengi, the previous storyline lead for the Moonshae Isles here at Baldman Games. And the new one that we're making is called Malefic Delusions. So Moonshae Isles Malefic Delusions. And we're premiering 7, not just 1, not 2, not 3, but 7 adventures at Winter Fantasy on February 1st to happening. Yeah, February 1st to 5th. And so if you're in the US, this is a in-person event premiere only. So those 7 adventures, the first 7 of the Malefic Delusion storyline, you'll see it there. 6 of those are like tier 2 or level 5 to 10. So if you've been watching our videos, our stream, especially for the Adventures League update, you already know what tier 2 means. So it's a level 5 to 10 adventure. And then we'll have an epic, which is a multi-table adventure happening at Winter Fantasy as well. So if you have the time, go visit, play, and tell me if you enjoyed it or not. And then after that, after it premieres in Winter Fantasy, probably give us like a month or 2 to make it beautiful, in terms of cover layout, and some editing, probably more editing, and then we'll publish it in DM's Guild. That way everybody can play it, right? Every event has it, everybody can play it. Where is Winter Fantasy? Good question. I think I wrote a command for Winter Fantasy. So Winter Fantasy is happening in the US. Where in the US? Fort Wayne. All right. Fort Wayne. Fort Wayne. Yeah. There. Where in Fort Wayne? Which state? I'm trying to find the state. Oops. Indiana. Yeah. It is. The link open. Yeah. Fort Wayne, Indiana. There we go. Yeah. No, not Texas. Not in Texas. No, it's not. Don't go to Texas, everyone. Don't go to Texas on February. No, it's not. Is it ID? What's IN? What's IN? Am I getting my acronyms wrong? What's IN for the state? Man, I suck at this. You know, I studied studied this in high school, but obviously I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, it's Indiana. Yeah. Yeah. Winter ID is Indonesia. Man, it's been 30 years since learning state codes, bro. Yeah. I know, yeah. I hope I'm right, right? IN is Indiana. I hope so. I hope I don't send people like to the wrong state. And like people are looking like where's Fort Wayne, where's Winter Fantasy, and they're like in the wrong state. So just go to the link there and then the address should be there. Tickets are not on sale yet, but soon. Think like in the following days, they'll have tickets available. So they actually have like D&D experience tracks where you can play like 3 adventures consecutively and then the epic. So if you want to go with that route, you can do that as well. There. Anyway, we're not here to talk about Winter Fantasy, but I just want to say that because especially we're premiering something really, really cool to get me and Savannah together with the writers who made that. So, and I know a lot of the writers will be there as well, running their adventures. So that will be awesome, right? It's going to be like an author run of these Moonshae adventures together with some cool lore that we're going to explore as well. And then if you find anything that's inaccurate, you can come back here in the stream and Paul, this is not what happened in Moray or in Gwyneth or in Aileron. We talk about this in this episode, blah, blah, blah. Feel free to come back. Yeah. And yeah, more. Yep. So that's what's happening February 1st to 5th, Winter Fantasy. And then tomorrow, if you're what's this? If this stream is not enough for you, like Lore Academia is not enough, and you wanna get more of that Moonshae stuff, then tomorrow, January 3rd, what time is that gonna happen? January 3rd, I think that's gonna happen at 9 p.m. Yeah, 9 p.m. Eastern. So it's not gonna conflict with our stream. So 9 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. So that's what's that? That's 10 a.m. January 4th for Manila. Yeah, for those who don't know, I'm here located in the Philippines. So January 3rd, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, Moonshae Isles, Castle of Skulls, actual play stream with Baldman Games. You can go to their Twitch channel, Baldman_games on Twitch, and then you can watch it. If you're in our Discord channel, we can have a watch party. We can talk about it as we watch that stream, because that one has a lot of good stuff there about the Moonshae Isles. Are there some inaccuracies? Well, I'm the dungeon master. I'm gonna let you find those if ever there is one, and we can talk about it here. There. That's it. That's all I have to say. Those are the ads, right? Sage watch along. Yeah, we could do that. So that's tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern, January 4, 10 a.m. Manila time. There you go. All right. Anyway, we're here. We're back. It's the new year. We're going to continue reading Moonshae Isles Rising Shadow Adventures until we know everything there is to learn about this storyline. Okay. We're going to be experts where we're going to know like where does this werewolf live? How do you get lycanthropy? Who is the High King of the Moonshaes? We're gonna have like exams. Oh, we forgot to do like a quiz for the AL update stream that we did. Should have done that. We forgot about it. Okay. Anyway, and let me show. There we go. Look at that. Rising Shadows. Army of the Unseen. This is part of the MOON2 series. So let's see where we at in terms of the story paths, right? So this is the Moonshae Rising Shadows story paths. And we start at 1, Moon 1, which is at the top center. And then the end is at the bottom, which is Moon 20. Right now we're on the, what's that? Is that the left? Your left? My left? I think that's my right and your left. But find Moon 2. We're at Moon 2, okay? And we've already read Moon2-1. So Moon 2 is actually a trilogy. We've already read Moon2-1. So right now, since the new year, we're going back here. We're reading Moon2-2, Army of the Unseen. Okay. And tomorrow, we'll read Moon2-3. And then after that, we're done with the trilogy. We're going to move to Moon 3 and then Moon 4, Moon 5 until we get to Moon 20. That is the plan. How long will that take? Well, hopefully we can finish that in 2023, right? Hopefully. I believe we can do that. So we can move on and learn about some other stuff like, I don't know, Dragonlance, Ravenloft, Eberron, Planescape, all those cool things. There. So let me remove this. So yeah, so we're going to go ahead and read Army of the Unseen. As I mentioned, this is written by Savannah Houston-McIntyre, which is the other storyline coordinator for the Moonshae Isles. So that means she's been here from the beginning or almost at the beginning, right? That's why I'm telling you, if you play the new storyline in Winter Fantasy, Moonshae Isles Malefic Delusions, and you had an awesome experience, it's probably because of her. Because she's the one who knows everything. She's the one who's making sure that everything fits together in this setting. I'm the one who's just causing trouble for her. So, yeah, I'm the one that's just saying, can we do this? Can we do that? All those things. And yes. So, we're going to read this. We're going to see what's happening here. What is happening in Army of the Unseen? All right, let's go. Let's go with this. So this is an adventure module and a little more than an outpost. Denegal. All right. I hope that's how you say it. Denegal is the lifeblood of resources that flow from Kaer Morhen. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. We're back in Moray. Isle of Moray. I knew it. All right. Supporting folk townships across the archipelago. But the supply boat is overdue by almost a 10-day and hope is difficult to find. With the recent attacks repelled, an opportunity exists to send aid. But who dares? Who dares venture? Who dares to venture outside the walls? For those who've been with us from the beginning, those who had perfect attendance on the Lore Academia stream, you know that in 2-1, Moon2-1, the Black Blood tribe, these lycanthropes, like made a full, like frontal assault at Kaer Morhen, right? Like the capital of the Isle of Moray, and the biggest like place there in that isle. And so it's a very, and with all the other adventures that we've read about the Moonshae Isles, whenever it mentions Moray, you know that it's a very dangerous place, right? But now we're back here, and let's see what will happen. So this is a 4-hour adventure for 1st to 4th level character. So that means it's a tier 1 adventure. The adventure code is CCC, or Community Created Content, BMG, Ballman Games, Moon2-2, optimized for average party level of 3. Right, so it's version 1.1. Okay. So we have that. Eric Mengi's here, all that stuff. Okay. So let's dig in and try to find out what's happening here. So welcome to Army of the Unseen, a CCC adventure, part of the official D&D Adventures League organized play system and the Moray trilogy. Okay. So Moon2 is Moray trilogy. That's so we're all gonna stay here. The adventure will take place within Donegal. Alright, I guess I should put that there. And the wagon trail between Donegal and Kaer Moray. Though it's the summer months, the area is shrouded in rain and fog. Nothing unusual for the Moonshae Isles. And it's a 1-4 adventure. Okay. You know what? During my free time, I've been watching tour videos of Wales. I don't know. Because I just want to learn how, like, what the names of the town, the mountains and everything, and they have a lot of places that has like care at the beginning, but the way they say it with the accent, it's different. Yeah, it's cool though. I like a lot of it, and it feels like I live in Wales now because I know all these places. Well, not really because I've forgotten it, but all the castles and everything. Yeah. So if you have free time, you want to learn more about the Moonshaes, like the inspiration for, like one of the biggest inspiration for the Moonshae Isles is Wales and Welsh. And all those castles there and everything, the weather, everything. Yeah. Yeah. Wales. There is a whale. Yeah, like the animal, like the big whale here in the Moonshae Isles. So hopefully in one of these adventures we'll encounter that. Anyway, so adjusting the adventure. If you're new here in the stream, you know that we don't really focus much on the mechanics, the combat, or everything, except for the lore. That is our bread and butter here. We try to extract as much lore as we can, but if we do see some good topics to discuss about design, encounter building, or writing, we'll talk about it. Am I the expert? I don't think so, but I'm gonna give you my opinion about it. Is there a possibility that we'll get canceled for that? Probably, big chance. But hey, we'll enjoy the stream while it lasts. Okay. Before play at the table, all right. So this is again the adventure that we're reading is for the dungeon master. So this is like the preparation that you need to make, all that stuff. Adventure primer. All right. So AI art. Again, to our AI overlords, 100 years, 200 years from now. You know that I'm just on the fence, right? I'm just there in the middle, not doing anything. Is that a bad thing? I don't care. I don't care if it's a bad thing. I'm staying there because I don't want to upset the artists in the present and our AI overlords in the far future. So anyway, adventure primer. We must shield Donegal from destruction and renew what has been savage. Folk across Moray need a champion to right this travesty. Will it be you, Sir Marek, an outpost recruiter? Oh, this is an original quote. Will it be you? Okay. Will it be us? Let's see. Adventure background, conflicts and bloodshed are commonplace in Moray. Oh my god. Yeah. As factions grapple for dominance or to fulfill nefarious plots. Hence, when word comes that the supply boat from Donegal hasn't yet arrived, despite its expectancy, a 10-day pass, the news is unfavorable but not surprising. Orwin Riss, the Earl of Moray. All right. Orwin Riss, Earl of Moray, has put up a call seeking brave heroes to set out once more to protect all of Moray. The loss of such a vital trade route cannot be left uncontested. The lives of many folk townships depend on the resources it brings. Okay. Though Dinigal was once a flourishing village, it has since reduced to little more than an outpost. Its infrastructure has become ragged under constant struggle for valuable resources. Whether, oh man, I remember this. Is it Crying Pete? I remember Pete something like that. We discussed that before. Where's that? I remember we discussed something about Pete's and something. Yeah. We have that. Yeah. Anyway. I think we visited Dinigal earlier, and it being reasonably sized fish. Man, to get turned into just an outpost. Did we? Actually, why don't we... Well, wait, let's finish reading this, and then we'll look at the map, okay? Crying Pete, or more flesh of for Malar, the god of beasts and savagery. Many assume that the trade boat was absent due to another raid by the Black Bloods. Again, the Black Blood tribe is basically a group of lycanthropes, evil lycanthropes. That's just... And there are just too many of them here in Moray, in the Isle of Moray. Or perhaps another monster from the mist. Unknown to those outside the outpost walls, Dinigal has succumbed to the howling disease, a mutated form of lycanthropy. All right. If lycanthropy is not bad enough, how about an upgraded version of that, right? The Fae within the outpost have transformed into skulks, vicious shadow creatures living out the hollow lives of their former victims. The only survivor is a sorcerer named Andres. Okay? Has been working diligently on a ritual he hopes might save the souls of his comrades. Time is running thin. So look at this. I love it already. Because they have pronunciation guides, which I need. Andres, okay? Andres, we have that. The only survivor of the howling disease, okay? I should probably write that. It's probably important. And then Dinigal. All right, so I'm right. Dinigal is the outpost. The adventurers have been sent to investigate. And then Surin is a warrior on her way to Dinigal in search of her son Andres. Okay, she's a formidable fighter, so we have that. Surin is the mother of Andres, a warrior. Okay, so let's look at our map. We're actually saying Dinigal wrong if the emphasis is on the neck. Really? Dinigal, right? Is that wrong? Dinigal? Yeah, it's kind of flat. Dinigal. Dinigal. Right? You are saying, Dinigal. I cannot. How? Send voice recordings. No. Makes it harder. Yeah, I cannot. Like my I can already, like, in my imagination my tongue was already saying, bro, stop. Just don't even try. So we're gonna stick. I'm sorry, but we're gonna. I know we want to do the correct one, right? Dinigal. Dinigal. Is it Dinigal? Is that how you say it? Dinigal. Dinigal. Oh boy, that's a very. I'm gonna stop. Okay, before our stream, before our stream gets bad or something. Anyway, where are we? If those are Welsh names, that's to be accepted. I don't know. I'm sorry. If you're Welsh, you're watching this, help us. Okay. Um. The no no no. What's this? We're looking at the map. Map. Where's our map? Map. So we're gonna go to Moray. There we go. Oh, here we go. It's right here. So Dinigal is right there. And I guess this is Kaer Moray, Dinigal. Oh, I think we've been here. Yeah, I remember. I think in 4E Adventures, I think. Oh no, we're not. It's one of the Moon 1 series because I remember kind of going to Dinigal and then going to Brazel Marsh. Yeah. Anyway, what did I'm drawing here? But yeah, Kaer Moray, Dinigal, Isle of Moray. Okay. And in 2-1, the Black Blood tribe attacked this place. All right. Kaer Moray. And now our adventure will happen here. All right. Got it. At least now we know where we're at. So adventure overview. What's happening here? So part 1, the traveling the wagon path, the adventurers run into a warrior named Seren, who is engaged in combat against a few blood scouts. She's holding her ground, but could use aid. Part 2, the adventurers find Dinigal abandoned. They begin to uncover clues about the disappearance of the soldiers. And then part 3, there's an old tavern now converted to barracks. Seems more haunted than the other buildings. The skulks are hungry for violence. And then part 4, we discover Andres and they must face a new foe. Afterward, the adventurers must decipher the prophecy. We have another prophecy and are presented with the option of completing Andres' work. Okay. Let's see. I receive a... Denegal. No, that still sounds flat at the middle part. Like they capitalize NEH, so that means the what's this? The stress is on that middle part. So that one should sound like a bit more high pitched, right? Yours is also almost the same as my Dinigal. No. You pronounce it differently, but I think the stress is also at the first syllable. Yeah, I can't make the whole chat hear the voice file, but yeah. I tried. We're gonna stick with Dinigal for now, unless I should have Savannah here, right? Savannah can really help us. Savannah is gonna be our savior here. Dinigal is the source of the lifeblood of resources that flow through Moray, supporting folk townships across the archipelago. Because of its importance, most brave adventurers are eager to assist in freeing an outpost from the dark hold over it. So these are the adventure hooks that dungeon masters can use when they run this adventure. Like the first one is in Kaer Moray. There's a call that has gone up in Kaer Moray. With recent attacks repelled and quiet upon the walls, the Earl Orwin Reese, seeks soldiers brave enough to venture through the mist to Dinegal. There is a handsome reward offered for any skillful adventurers who return with a supply boat in tow. Okay? Or this could be like an organization request. The resources that flow through Dinegal from Kaer Morhen are a priority to many. Moonshae organizations are eager to see the matter settled and ask their bravest warriors, which is us, to assist in restoring the trade route for the benefit of their members. Okay. Oh, adjudicating lycanthropy. So how do we deal with lycanthropy? Because the party confronts a large number of lycanthropes in this adventure, please note the following. Characters who contract lycanthropy don't become a werebeast until the next full moon, which doesn't happen in this adventure. The moon is currently quarter full, okay? Good. Characters must have the curse removed at the end of play of this adventure, or the character is retired and no longer able to play AL events. However, this is true for previous AL rules, but with our latest guide that we just read last week, this part is no longer there. Which takes precedence? The AL player's guide, DM's guide, basically the official AL documents takes precedence than the adventure. So that's what we follow. So here, even if we do get lycanthropy and we don't remove the curse, it doesn't say anymore that we have to retire our characters. So no. Removing the curse of lycanthropy normally costs 90 gold pieces and can be performed by a cleric of Helm in Kaer Morhen. If the party is successful, Orwin Riss, the Earl of Moray, covers the cost of spellcasting. So this is basically a remove curse spellcasting. Maybe there's a member of the Black Blood tribe working at Wizards of the Coast, specifically in Adventurers League. And they know, hey, you know what? I heard that there's going to be new storyline coordinators. One of them doesn't know crap about Moonshaes. How about we take advantage of that? And you know what? Let's just delete this one sentence right here. Poop. And there you go. That's probably what happened. Very sus. Very sus. Anyway. All right, here we go. Part 1. Ways of Mist. So this is supposed to be 30 minutes. Again, this is a CCC, which is like the old format for adventures, for the community adventure. So there's no call to action, nothing like that. Here it starts with part 1. When was this published? Let me actually... Do I have a command? I think I have a command. Moon2-2? No? Okay, never mind. I suck at that. I guess I should have placed a command for it. Well, let's see when was this published. It was published March. No. Added February 28th, 2019. Almost 4 years ago. That's yeah. Been a long time. So this part begins with the adventurers en route to Dinegal to investigate the absence of the supply boat. The wagon path is mist-laden, old, and ill-kept. Allow time for the characters to introduce themselves, and the setting is quiet and still. We have a map, but we've already looked at the map, so we have that. We have no problem. And this is our read aloud text, basically. The Dungeon Master reads to his players. The sky is heavy and rain laden above. Is it laden or laden? Now I'm doubting like every word that I'm saying. Lay. All right. Rain laden above, a gray sheet, crisp with darkness, hanging low over the world. You've only been on the wagon path for 2 hours, but the poor maintenance is already evident in the ache of your feet. A veil of mist has plagued you from the moment you exited the walls of Care Moray. It creeps through the long roadside grass like serpents, and its permanence obscures your companions. If all goes as planned, you will be to Dinigal by dusk. There's hope that rain won't break before you find shelter there. Okay? So our path is actually composed of cracked clay, unmaintained. There's like overgrown with weeds and gouges where wagon wheels left their mark. Okay. So mist obscures visibility beyond 15 feet. So wow. It's like 3 people. It's like flat on the ground. And you can't see beyond that. Okay. And okay. And then Clash of Blood. After that, that feeling when weather plays an important role, the adventurers are using the weather as a cloak to secretly make it to Dinigal. Yeah, but again, we're dealing with the Black Blood tribe here, or we're dealing with lycanthropes. I'm assuming they have a great sense of smell. And I think we're about to see that. The adventurers come into fight between a warrior and 2 Black Blood scouts. A cry of clashing steel strikes through the air, shattering the visage of solitude formed by the mist. A few paces onward, and the battle before you becomes evident. A warrior is holding a beast at bay. You can readily identify the creature as a lycanthrope of the Black Blood tribe due to the cloth bands, as black as unholy blood, wrap around its arms. This tribe is well known for dragging away innocent souls to be sacrificed in the Moonwell. All right, let's break this a little bit. As black as unholy blood. It sounds so cool, right? But I'm having an imaginary error there. So it's just basically black. Right? So that's their cloth bands is just the color black. But this part sounds cool, but yeah. What is the color of unholy blood? Like how black is unholy blood, right? Yeah. So that's one. And then moonwells. For those who don't know, in the Moonshaes, there are moonwells. Remember that the folk or the people of the Moonshae Isles worship, or most of them worship the Earth Mother, which is a primal spirit, and basically the Moonshae Isles itself. So it worships they're worshiping the land, Moonshae Isles, and they say that the powers of the Earth Mother are actually stronger at these moon wells. So these wells contain like magical water, and the Earth Mother, they say that the Earth Mother can actually see through these wells. Like for her to kind of pierce through the material world, see what's happening in her islands, she uses the moon wells. All right. But it looks like the Black Blood tribe has corrupted one of these moon wells, and they're sacrificing souls to the Moonwell, right? Or sacrifice in the Moonwell. Okay. The warrior's snow white skin and golden hair are quick to distinguish her as a Lure elf. All right. I know the double L is supposed to be like L and H at the same time. Lure elf. And like in the YouTube videos where I watch like Welsh and videos like tours of Wales, Man, they're so good at pronouncing these words. I cannot. I tried. Yeah, I sound so stupid while watching those YouTube videos. Uh, a lot of these require you to move your tongue in ways you're not used to. Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. And that's why I know I'm probably like the only person not gonna be in Winter Fantasy, but I'm not that jealous because, again, if I'm like say these words while running games in person and mispronouncing left and right, but I think it's gonna stress me out. Here, if I mispronounce things, nobody cares because there's a good chance they don't know how it's pronounced anyway. So yeah. Savannah. Good job. Inspiration for you, Christ. But Lure Elf, yeah. But the colors and embellishments on her armor reveal no particular alliance. Though she is enduring well enough, she doesn't seem to note the second assailant skulking through the mist beyond her. All right. So we have a were-rat and a werewolf trying to abduct a warrior named Saren. And they plan to sacrifice her at the Moon Wells and will consider the adventurers as additional sacrifices. No possessions, so you're not going to be able to steal anything from them. And, okay, if we make an Arcana or Nature check, we know that lycanthropes can only be harmed by silver or magical weapons. Would you look at that? So does that mean if we become lycanthropes ourselves, or if we get the lycanthrope curse, we can only be harmed by silvered or magical weapons? I mean, no mundane weapon can hurt us? But they're also susceptible to spells. Okay, good to know. History. The tribe of the Black Bloods are lycanthropes. The Black Bloods are a powerful and well-known faction on Moray. They strike fear in the hearts of men. They strike fear in me and to chat as well a lot because, man, they're like super, super evil. Silver gifts. It's unlikely that the players will be prepared with silver weapons. Excuse me. At the recommended level for this adventure. Saren's weapons counts as silvered. If we choose to assist her, she provides us with 10 silvered arrows and a silvered short sword that she's supposed to deliver to her son. Tricks of the trade. What can we have here? I see Black Blood. So Black Bloods have a simple tactic. Surround and seize. They should focus on maiming with their weapons as opposing to biting. Okay. Goal is not to transition their foes into the pack, but to use them into gruesome rituals. Yeah, kill them. Doesn't matter. Alright. Saren, straightforward fighter. Focuses on hitting hard. Okay. And we can flee if we want to, if we're ill-equipped, and we can't damage a werewolf and a were-rat. They may be evil, but they have abs. Well, you know what they say. If they have abs, I don't know. Nobody actually says that. Yeah, but yep. In the cover of 2-1, there's a werewolf with abs. So remember, you are, as a dungeon master, you're the storyteller during this encounter. Feel free to improvise as needed. Okay, noted. We can add 2 more were-rats if we have like really strong tier 1 players playing. Yeah. I mean, if you become a werewolf or a lycanthrope, do you want to be like the typical werewolf with abs and everything, or do you want to be like the scrawny tall dude, or like the short smart guy? What else? Other tropes out there? Or are you like the princess kind, or like the bookworm type of person? Right? I'm probably gonna be like the princess type with abs. That's probably what I'm gonna go for. Role-playing Saren. So the resilient lure elf has a demeanor of sincerity, but isn't opposed to weaving friendship. Despite her candid nature, she does have a sensitive side and engages in small talk and banter. If the adventurers foster bonds with her, she's more likely to assist them later in the adventure. So it's essential to any attempts to make her recognized. For those who don't know, the Lure elves, these are like also settlers from the Moonshae Isles. They didn't originally come from the Moonshae Isles, but when they arrive here, called them Lure elves. And the Lachey, who is like the first people that kind of arrive here, the Fae arrive here, they accepted the Lure elves. So the Lachey are actually elves as well. They are Eladrin elves, the one that changes depending on their mood to different seasons. And so they've been here first in the Moonshaes, and then the Lure elves arrive, and the Lachey are like, okay, no problem, feel free to stay here. And the Lure elves were like, okay, we just want to be left alone, really. So we're just gonna stay in one place, and as long as you don't bother us, we're not gonna bother anybody, right? So where are they? So we know that Gwyneth is now under like the kingdom of Sarafal, which is the Fae kingdom of Sarafal. And the Lure elves can be found here in Sinoria. That's where they stay. So if you don't bother them here in Sinoria, they're probably not going to bother you. But in this case, like, she's looking for her son. She can't find her son. That's why she's out and, killing werewolves. Or lycanthropes. There. So we have that. What else do we have? Oh, we didn't actually read this part. The development part. So if we apprehend one of the Black Blood Scouts, they are irritable and speak little. At most, they disclose what they need. That they need more tributes for the Beast Lord, for Malar. Alright? So, evil deity that the Black Bloods worship. They see their action as a holy necessity, and the characters are in the wrong for hindering them. See, this is like the kind of stories that I want to write. Okay? So from this perspective, we can see that, hey, the Black Blood tribes are attacking. They're killing. Which is wrong. Murder is wrong. Killing is wrong. Right? And then, but they have to do this because this is an holy act. It is needed to please their deity. Right? But if you write this, right? So that for from our side, yeah, from how this is written, the Black Blood tribes are evil. But if I write it as a way that why do the Black Blood tribes need tribute for the Beast Lord? What will happen if they don't do this? Right? Because it's a holy necessity. It needs to be done. Or else what? What if, something far worse will happen if they don't do this? Or, these guys probably have families as well, right? And their families will be killed by Malar because, it can be for the greater good. Or it's just because they are cursed with lycanthropy. If they don't follow this, then they might be in danger, or their family might be in danger. And if you write it like that, you try to make it look like from the perspective of the Black Blood tribe, why they're doing it, why it's needed. And then you start to think, as an adventurer, all right, so which side am I supposed to be in? Because if I don't help the Black Blood tribe in getting people to be sacrificed for the Moonwells, then Malar, the Beast Lord, will get mad, and our entire clan might just be killed by this deity. or Moray will just sink, or whatever the consequences are, like deity god level consequences, right? And yeah, you're right. So antagonists you can sympathize, and as adventurers, when you play adventure D&D, you kill monsters. Sometimes you kill, we have players who kill guards, humans, right? And villain academia. Shigaraki did nothing wrong, exactly, right? So if you watch My Hero Academia, you read the manga, um, get to the villain arc, so you get to relate, you get to feel, you get to sympathize, or empathize with the villains. You know why they're doing this, or are they actually the villain, right? If we see that from that perspective, and those are the things that I kind of want to write, because when I write it that way from the perspective of villains, are you still willing, as an adventurer, are you still willing to do what's right? Are you still willing to become a hero? Or are you just going to be a hero for a small circle or a group of people, but not overall? If you're going to be a hero for everyone, are you willing to make certain sacrifices? And then that's where your player starts. All right, I'm chaotic neutral, so that's my character is gonna do this. I'm lawful good. I'm gonna do this. And that's where you start getting these exciting interactions with your players and their player characters. So, are we the bad guys? Yeah. Killing in a vacuum is neither good or bad. Animals killed to survive. It's context that makes it good or bad. Exactly, right? So that's how I want to write my adventures. So if you see in the future, or probably in Malefic Delusions, why, like, that will make you have like a moral dilemma once or twice when you're playing them, it's because of the brain inside this skull right here. Yeah. The league does not allow this alignment. We're the greater good guys. Right, you cannot be evil in Adventures League, so you cannot do that. Right. Anyway, going back, so meeting Seren, with the battle won, the warrior wipes her brow, scraping off a collection of wetness and flicking it to the ground. All right, wow, that is a description. Like, I saw it in my head. There, it convenes with the first droplets of rain. She eyes you for a lingering moment, weighing thoughts behind bright hazel eyes. Inevitably, she sheaths her blade. I appreciate the assistance, she comments with a stern but favorable tone. My name is Seren. Wow! Savannah knows how to write, because I know, right? That is so good. Like, if it was me, it'll probably be written as like an elf with blonde hair stands before you. She thanks you for helping her with the lycanthropes. And she goes, I appreciate your assistance. My name is Seren. That's probably how I'm gonna write it. But this one, I read it, I was able to imagine it. It's like a cut scene in like Lord of the Rings, and then the rain starts to happen, and then you look at this lure elf. Wow. Aren't you happy that she's one of the storyline coordinators? We're in good hands. Okay. Now, are you a master? From here, the characters are free to speak with Seren, and we get to learn some information. Okay, this is good. So, Seren is a lure elf. I don't think we wrote that. A lure elf. I hope she doesn't die. A lure. Why? Who's from Chrysalis in Sinoria. Okay. This is where they're from. We know that. We will look at that a while ago. She's a member of the Sarifal Faithful, a Moonshae organization that seeks to bridge the divide between the Fae and the mortals of the Moonshaes. She encourages elves and half-elves to join her organization. Okay. Syrifal Faithful. She's on her way to Dinigal in search of her half-elf son, a soldier stationed at the outpost. His name is Andres Nilo. Is that I? Can't see. Is this an I? I think that's an I. Okay. She sustained a small injury during the battle before we arrive. So there's a small gash in her leg from a spear tip. She doesn't have lycanthropy. Good to know. She's aware of the Black Bloods, but is hopeful her son and the other soldiers haven't been captured and taken to the Moonwells. She hasn't received a letter from her son in almost 30 days, a month, and she initially assumed it was due to the attacks on Kaer Morhen, because in 2-1, Moon2-1, Kaer Morhen was under attack by the Black Blood tribe. Saren will be pleased to accompany us on our journey. Saren stands after binding the gash in her leg and shrugs off the weight of the battle as if it were an inconvenient shawl. Look, she states, I know we merely met, but it would seem to me that our ends are aligned. Why don't we travel together? I promise my blade still has life in it. God damn. I wish when I write I can make up lines like this one. All right. Like, it's so simple, but, you know, it's like, it packs a punch. Wow, completely aside, is there a description of, like, the postal system of Faerun somewhere? I don't know. Like, who sends these letters? Anyway, is it magical in nature? Is it like Harry Potter? Like, they're those flying letters? People are getting letters somehow. You know what? I hope I remembered. Actually, let's put it here somewhere. Extras. What is the quote unquote, postal system like in the Moonshae Isles? That's a good thing to explore. People keep receiving letters left and right. These are like different islands. Like, who sends them? Who goes there? They have the origami spell, right? I don't think so. And how come they can still send letters in Moray? It's a very, very dangerous place. Like, if there's a war zone here, you're not going to be able to send a letter in that destination, right? So, unless you have some specific people that can actually enter that area. So, thinking if it's the same thing here. But it's a good thing to explore. Maybe in future storylines, we'll have, there's a faction. We're the one in charge of sending letters. Oh, man. I'm thinking of some stuff. There's some... If you watch Violet Evergarden, they write letters and make sure like their clients or whoever it needs to be sent to, they receive that letter. And then like every episode you watch of Violet Evergarden, you cry. Oh, if we have a Violet Evergarden in the Moonshae Isles, just to make sure that the son of a lure elf receives a letter, or the mother receives a letter from his half-elf son, something like that. Oh, that's gonna be cool. So if that ever happens, like in the future, like future storylines, it started here. It started in the stream. Yeah. Just remember that. Nothing major. No deity or no god level disaster or anything. No political conflict. It's just, we want to send these letters. And in those, as you send those letters, you start to get like different stories, like the context behind those letters being sent. Uh, could be like that touchstone theme of the bards in that one series of postal workers of that faction doing their job. Yeah, and then like how difficult is that? Like, what do you actually use? Do you ride like a merchant vessel to get there? Do you fly? Are there like flying mounts here in the Moonshae Isles that these courier can use? Things like that. Yeah. So, hey, hello, Shifting to Wolf. Welcome to the stream. We're just discussing some possible future storylines, like how do people get letters in the Moonshae Isles, right? So, hopefully, we can answer that in the future. Okay. Anyway, happy birthday! All right. Yeah. Well, I'm just staring at my son for now because it's January 3 here in the Philippines, and it's my son's birthday. Happy birthday, Ziggy! Happy birthday! Yay! Okay. Happy birthday! Yes. So if you don't know Ziggy, just go to Twitter. You'll see his photos there. I spam them sometimes, and you'll see him like every month. He has like a photo shoot wearing like different D&D costume, and he's there. So, yay! It's his birthday, and then on the weekend we're gonna celebrate his birthday. Ziggy Warlock best costume. Yeah. I like the wizard, and then there's like a cleric where he's just like all red and white, and like his costume's like so shiny, it looks like a high priest or something. So anyway, going back here, we're getting distracted. We're done with part 1. We're moving on to part 2. Tranquil moments. 90 minutes. All right, so we're gonna technically it's like you play this part for 90 minutes. In this part, the adventurers explore where? Twitter? There you go. Follow it there. Just scroll down. Or like hashtag DND baby. I think that's what I use for Ziggy's pictures. Anyway, in this part, the adventurers explore Dinigal and search for clues as to the fate that befell the village. The creeping dread should steadily increase as they learn more. All right, so the ground is muddy from downpour, so it's been raining. Footprints right away. Muck sticks to the bottom of your footwear. Okay. There's a thick and ominous fog. Of course there is. And the sun is only 3 hours from the horizon, backlighting the fog with a dim golden hue. God, even like in the description of like the area, like general features. I'm just gonna put like here, bright light. That's it. This one is so good. The air mods. There's a like and spy in the chat. Oh. Oh no. You just gotta be careful. They're here. If you're watching Black Blood, if any members of the Black Blood tribe is watching the stream, please, I have kids. Spare me. Smell and sound, okay. Damp and mud, okay. Inconsistent. Due to the haunted nature of Dinigal, features should change every time the characters revisit a location. A chair should shift out of place. A window once closed is now open. That's good. That's good detail that as a dungeon master you can add. Yes. Good job. I'm liking this adventure. It may sound, probably I am being biased because Savannah wrote this, but I think we can all agree that so far, this adventure has been written pretty well. So when the party approaches Dinigal, there's no sign of activity. The outskirt of the outpost contains a farmstead. Beyond the unmaintained fields, there's an old water mill on the river flowing from Lac Dinigal, which is the lake. Yeah, or Lake Dinigal, right? We kind of argued a little bit if LAC is like Lac or Lake. Lac Dinigal. A crumbling stone wall surrounds the village proper. The outpost is centered around a trade house, an old inn converted into barracks, and a small library maintained by the guards as an outlook due to its bell tower. There are a few houses in apparent use, but the remainder of the village has been left in despair as fewer settlers have volunteered to the station with each black blood raid that left it devastated. Just imagine, like, Kermoray, a castle town, is being attacked by these lycanthropes. Like even like a walled city is not safe from these lycanthropes. What more to these like villages, right? Doesn't have walls. If they do, it's just like wooden palisades. Can easily climb it. So yeah. It's scary to live in Moray. I keep telling you that. All right, this is there are lichens in the walls. Attack on Titan. you know, this is what I'm afraid of. I feel like that's gonna be as an adventure writer and a anime nerd. I feel like that's gonna be my downfall. I'm gonna be like jamming so many anime reference in my adventures that it's not gonna be funny anymore. It's gonna be cringe. It's like it's too much already. Like yeah, you're gonna have werewolves in the walls themselves. Yeah, because like Attack on Titan. Spoiler by the way. But yeah, right. I feel like that's how my career will end because I jam too many anime references in my adventures. But anyway, I started that way. It's probably gonna end that way. There can never be too much anime references. Okay, good to know. Because that Violet Evergarden storyline will be up there. And I'm gonna talk to Savannah and like, yeah, had the stream, and we had this really cool idea. Maybe we can do it. And if she says yes, she agrees with my shenanigans, it's gonna happen. Totally not plagiarized. Again, inspired by that, right? Inspired by it. All the D&D stories that you have here, it's all like, borderline, if not like super super close to a story, to a novel. Anyway, going back, what do we have? Devastated. Okay. I'm not gonna read that. Anyway, the chilling downpour has made a wearying journey to Dinigal. At long last, the site of an old farmstead marks the border of the outpost. A soggy map tells you that beyond it is a small stone wall outlining the outpost's core. The storm descending from the sky cloaks its exact location. A flash of lightning sketches the details of the farmstead in blue light. Though it lasts but a moment, it looks as if an old paddock is being used as a training ground, where strawmen stand undisturbed by rain or impalement. The other areas are less distinguishable from the distance. Okay. In the pasture, a horse whines in complaint, protesting the elements it has been left to withstand. I guess it's raining. Okay. What's happening, chat? Oh, you're having too much fun. Okay. I can't read that. If I read it out loud, I'm not gonna be able to focus. The farmstead. If the party moves to investigate the farmstead, read or paraphrase the file. So if we go here, this is what happens. As you step through the veil of fog, the features of the farmstead becomes more apparent. Despite their age, the farmhouse and stable both appear in sound repair. The paddock is lined with racks of training weapons neglected in the storm. No footprints from drill or discipline can be seen in the muck, likely washed away by the pooling rain. The farmstead consists of a paddock, a small pasture, stables, and a farmhouse. The farmstead seems to be in good repair, having been occupied as a training ground. Okay. I think we'll have C1 Appendix 3B for this scene. Okay, let's go to Appendix 3B. Oh, okay. Farmhouse to Dinigal. All right, we have a well over here. And then wagon trail. All right, paddocks here, stables. Okay. Just pasture included. Our distance is 20 feet long. Okay. Noted. Okay. So what do we have here? Perception at the paddock. All right, reveals that there are 3 horses. Okay. Nature confirms that the horses seem malnourished. Probably, yeah, nobody's... If you have food, are you going to give it to the horse or to yourself? Right? If there's like a scarcity of food, who would you give it to? And the weather sucks really bad that there's really no place to, like, for them to eat like fresh grass. All right. Okay. What else do we have? Animal handling. You to, okay, corral the horses into the stables. Investigation. The rust is starting to form on the training weapons. They've been left here for days. Nobody's been using them. Okay. The stables. It's a common place. All right. There's really nothing here. Old hay. All right, so we're not going to read through that. Entering the farmhouse, you find a scene of unrest before you. Shards of silvered glass coat the front hall, as if the entryway mirror has been thrown against the opposite wall. The sound of a door closing echoes throughout the house. Perhaps your entrance did not go unnoticed. Okay? Despite the closing door, there's no life present here. So in this array, there are mirrors, shattered. Okay, I'm trying to find some good information here. Party searches the farmhouse. They find the following. In the office, there's a list of settlers and guards stationed at Dinigal. All right, so we look at 5A. And then on the desk is a noticeable tome bound in old leather. It's titled A Touch of Bone by Aras Ninomar. The description on the flyleaf reads as follows. This book is strictly for study purposes. AN. All right. So that's probably Aras. The title and inscription are the top left corner of Appendix 5B. Divide up the handout and give to each piece to the party as they discover them. Okay. With an investigation check, we find an unmarked key on the leather strap below the desk. So 5A and 5B. But I'm gonna take note of this book just in case. And let's go to Appendix 5A and 5B. 5A. Record by Brightdin Morris Biven. I have charged the following settlers to attend to the peat harvest. Let's zoom in a little more. Malug Bond, Amrin Cadwallader, Emlyn Mortimer, Brandwin Popkin, and Darren Teague. I have charged the following settlers to attend the Crine harvest. Cadfell Arthur, Adfwin Bowell, Cyril Brickle, Phaelana Halatel, Idwal Mordecai. Mordekaiser? Mordecai. Alright. The shipwright. Gangalore Silditas. Okay, I can't do TH. I'm sorry. Raid house workers are charged with drying, stacking, and preparing shipments. Elfirinil and Atidowel, Taylor Bevan, Gwyneth Meredith. I cannot do TH. I'm so sorry. Daphne Ilyakalan, and it has become apparent that we lack the settlers to cover all duties, so I have therefore found it necessary to charge the soldiers stationed here with secondary tasks. The brave stationed here are as follows. Stoiris Adnala. I feel like there's like a bit of kind of ran out of names there, so ran out of names to come up with names, so just Stoiris, all right. Adnala, Fioled Arthur, Nerwin Bevan, all right. I think we saw that a while ago. Trade House Cadwaladir Bignon, Chef Emerald Lomitradia, Era Hulimian, Andres Nilo. Oh, Andres Nilo's here, in charge of the apothecary. Okay. Aaron Reindeer, Roland, Cianodel, Trade House, and Vanorin Zodnalia, the hostler. So, with all those names that I butchered, which ones are members of the Black Blood tribe? Okay. Hello, Toby Fernando. Welcome. What a name. What a Twitch name. I hope that's not like your real name or anything, right? And who is... But welcome. It's an I with it, so it's okay, probably a Smurf account. So is that an L? Is like it's got two dots. Yeah, it got two dots at the top. Yeah, so Nalio it's Nalio. Yeah, Nalio. Andres Nalio. Anyway, thanks everyone for those who just joined us. Thank you for joining. Feel free to hit that follow button. All right, it's time to ask the Welsh. I don't know yet. Man, we need like a resident Welsh person here. Yeah. Thank you. There you go. Yes, nice, good job. Appreciate that. Player handout. So Appendix 5B. This is like from the book. A Touch of Bone. This is what we have. So A Touch of Bone by Aras Ninamar. But yeah, no. Wait, caught in 4K. As I was saying, as we're reading this handout, guess which ones are members of the Black Blood. Like I'm pretty sure like one or two of this is probably like the bad guy, and probably like kidnapped Andras or did something to him, something like that. So make sure. Yeah, let's guess. I'm guessing Era, because Era Holimian is one because they work together, and it's a very like something you wouldn't suspect based on the name. All right. In before there's an actual game of werewolf. Is there a game of werewolf? The board game? I don't think so, right? Is there one? Is Villager, close your eyes. What if, you know what? What if like the creator of, when was the werewolf made? Because if like the creator of the Moonshae Isles is like, all right, what should be the theme in Moray? And then they're like, the authors and his friends are like just, or their friends are just playing werewolf. You know what? I got an idea. And then they created a Black Blood tribe. All right. Anyway, going back here. Second handout. This book strictly for study purposes. All right, we go to the next page. Site of Poem and Prophecy. But there are other books by Adis Zadik. Merwin, for your numerous questions for on the future, perhaps this tome will bring you comfort, if not insight. A.N. Okay? And then there's another one, Heartbeats and Other Grand Illusions by Icor Telhaven. The world is but a dream in the glimpse of your beauty. A.N. Wow. What is going on here? And then the last one, Arcane Glimpses to Simplify Everyday Woes with Frost and More by Bive Ixoluix Phelana, at your request. A.N. So is this A.N. Aras Ninomor or somebody else? We'll find out as we read more. So we're going to go back here. We're going to go part 2. And there. Here. Dinigo. All right. As the adventurers cross the stone wall and enter the village, read or paraphrase the following. Oh, so we're not yet at the village. I was like, we just passed like a farmstead and something else. Passing the crumbling stone wall of Dinigal is a lenient feat. A lack of gate and gaping holes from disrepair offer easy access for friend and foe. The rain continues to batter relentlessly, turning the dirt roads ahead into perilous ponds of muck. Ahead, the village is shrouded in darkness and fog, causing the lanterns flickering outside the trade house to stand as a beacon against the gloom. All right, Appendix 3C from the layout. All right, if you're getting dizzy from the page changes, just close your eyes for a second. And we're good. So this is Dinigal. All right, so we went to the farmstead. We have the trade house. There's an old inn, library. And then the lake starts here. Okay. And then remember, where's our map? Remember that we're not there. We're not in Sonoria. We are right here. In the Isle of Moray. Right there. That's where we're at. So going back. Oh, this is like a big exploration. We're going to explore the whole village. I have a feeling we're going to do that. If the party moves to investigate the trade house, read or paraphrase the following. The trade house is a handsome structure composed of master stonework walls and a wooden frontage. I don't even use that word. Like, I just use facade. Okay, a wooden frontage. Okay. 2 lanterns are resting on stone pillars outside the entryway, lit and welcoming. The trade house has 1 floor and an attic. It's primarily made of workshops, storage rooms, and an office. Workshops are paired off with double fireplaces, allowing the adventurers to gaze from the one workshop to another quickly. All right. And then we get to Merwin Bevan's office. I've seen that name. It's in one of the handouts. A wooden plaque on the door marks Merwin Bevan's office. The office itself is neatly kept, and nothing should strike the players as immediately out of place. On investigation, the adventurers can find the following details. All right, what can we find? An itinerary of the items expected to be missing shipment, it appears complete. An itinerary of the items expected on the missing shipment. All right? It appears to be complete. There's a log indicating that Feilana, Halotel, and Idwal Mordecai didn't return from harvest. It's noted that the incident was reported to Emerald Lomit Radia, who held the evening watch. With a perception, it reveals that there was a recently a large picture or mirror above the mantelpiece that is now absent. Is that the broken mirror we saw a while ago? On the mantelpiece rests a tome bound in silk and embellished with a silver leaf. It's titled, this is the one, okay? Site of Poem and Prophecy by Adis Zadig. All right, so I'm gonna take note of these books because I might be able to use them in the future. And then in the inscription on the flyleaf reads as follows: Merwin, for your numerous questions on the future, perhaps this stone will bring you comfort, if not insight. AN. Okay, so we saw that in the handout. And with a dexterity, it allows us to open a locked drawer. Inside the drawer, we can find a love letter written by her husband, Teller Bevan. She doesn't appear to be the receiver. What? Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay. So this is her husband's letter, but it's not addressed to her. Let's see what's going on. Highlights from the notes, including the following: your eyes shine as castaway stars, bringing warmth on colorless lace. Golden ears tip like delicate wings, brush so gently against my cheek. Oh, spicy. Your breath is cool and playful in the wind, trailing after each kiss. How true my heart beats for you, my darling Feilana. What? What? Doki doki. Feilana. All right. This is Teller Bevan's letter to Feilana. And Teller is the husband of Merwin Bevan. And I saw Feilana here. Feilana Halotel didn't return from harvest. Okay. Oh boy. No. Don't do that. All right, I'm not going to read that. But, oh, man. Gang. There's gonna be like a fanfic made for this, right? Gangolor Seldita's workshop. As you approach the workshop, you hear the rapping of a hammer on nails. The din is slow and monotonous. Peering inside, the scene is still. Planks of wood lay in piles, waiting to be stripped and bent into shape or chiseled into oars. The workshop appears to be devoted to the creation of canoes. Okay. So, or the workshop doesn't turn up anything, seems out of place. Okay. Examining the workbench reveals Gengler's journal with scribblings in Elvish. From the book, the party can learn Gengulor's name and that he made canoes, okay? But nothing else of importance. And if the adventurers have already claimed possession of a mirror, revisiting the location with one, they find a skulk living Gengulor such as hollow life. If this condition applies, read the file. All right, so what's happening? So I think I don't know this part, but I think there's a mirror monster mechanic here. So we're just gonna go through it, even though we don't have it 100%. Angling the mirror into the room, you see a dreary gray creature sitting at the workbench. It raises a hammer and lets it fall with a dull thud. As you watch, it turns its gaping grimace towards you, its stagnant eyes meeting yours in its reflection. It lurches out from the chair, and its gape widens as if wailing, though no sound strikes your ears. The reflection in the mirror shows gray hands stretching through the fireplace from the workshop beyond. You are not alone. So we can only see these like fey monsters because we read this a while ago, right? Like the skulks are like it's just empty shells of like the citizens here, and they've been like possessed by the fey. Adventurers must make a wisdom saving throw. Okay, frightened. There are 3 skulks here, so it can be combat. The skulks are they're the remains of Gangolor, Salditas, Elfinaril, Idolwyn, and Dafina, Ilya Kalin. Okay. Tricks of the trade. Okay. Invisibility, handled mirrors. Okay, we're not gonna read through that. A skulk may be within 5 feet of a held mirror to cancel the skull's disadvantage. Okay. We can flee right away. Alright, got it. So if we stay here, we fight the skulks in the workshop. Then we get to the peat workshop. Alright, lays on racks where they have dried for processing. There's a work table where the turf is cut into uniform sizes. Someone started shuffling the turf into box and cut. Okay, so there's really nothing there. Alright, the crine. Alright. Despite its bland taste, crine is a silvery swamp plant that can be quite lovely to view. I want to know how it's pronounced, if it exists. Yeah, it is. I'm seeing crine in Google. And okay, though in this workshop, it has been tossed about as if a whirlwind struck. Silver cabbage-like leaves coat the floor and tabletops. A schedule on the far wall states that the crine harvest will take place from noon to dusk at the shore. There's a ladder at the far end of the room leading to the attic. It's a trap area. So this one is a trap. You can get into a trap. So there's a crossbow nestled behind the ladder. Okay, and if you get the tripwire, you might get damage for 1d10. Got it. And then when we get to the attic, creaking open the trap door, the attic reveals a scene of devastation among stored goods. A cascade of withered blood permeates the far wall and windowsill, with chunks of unidentifiable flesh scattering the floor. Opposite the window sits a wall mirror propped up by a storage box, strewn about our personal belongings mixed with the meat and mess of boxes. I knew it was a whirlwind. Yeah. A storage goods in the attic consists of paper, dried crine, and spare canoe parts. There's really nothing here. There's a journal, cracked, hard to open due to the vicious blood sealing pages together. But the most recent entries are still legible. Highlights are in 5C. We're gonna read that. The adventurers have not yet explored the inn. They can make a perception check and reveals a lantern light drifting through its window panes, barely distinguishable through the fog. It's just someone might be walking in the hall. So from here at the attic of this crime workshop, we can see the inn, and it looks like there's someone there. Okay. Let's go to 5C. 5C. So this is the all right. In before place, do nature check to identify the unidentifiable flesh. 150. It is my sin. I am sure of it. Merwin vows she did not harm my love, alleges her own heart never throbbed for me, but for convenience. But there, I see her. Some would call her a monstrosity, and yet I know. Feilana. She stands and stares, perhaps because she knows I see past the vile and featureless creature. She creeps across the cobblestone as if returning from the harvest, alone, for she devoured whole the others. She stops and sees me. Perhaps she sees that I see her. Only in the mirror, never without. Perhaps a reflection of my wants. Am I truly mad? She sees me. She sees me. Alright. So it's a from lycanthropy attack became a love triangle, and then the love interest might be a skulk or a fae. I don't think it's a black. We'll see. We'll see if it's a black blood, or I think it's a fae, because they're talking about mirrors here. Yeah. Yeah. Only in the mirror, never without. So it's a classic trope, but I'm not expecting that here. I was thinking like, it's gonna be a classic werewolf attack, right? But okay, so we have that. We need to go back. Okay. We're here. So we went to the attic. Now we can go to the old inn. Just need the sparkling vampire. If we move to we go to the inn. The tavern stands an impressive structure despite the fog and rainfall that shrouds it. As you approach, a lantern lights in greeting on one of the lower windows. Though you do not see the host behind it, a sign creaks in the wind displaying a name, the Crow's Nest. Okay. I think that's important. An inn in Dinigo. Okay. Alongside the tavern is a flag declaring loyalty to Earl Orwin Wrist. It flounders as the rain beats it, despite standing at full mast. I hope like they describe like what the flag looks like, so we know the herald of the Earl or something, like its symbol. The tavern consists of a common and dining area, and a kitchen, cellar, 10 rooms. The inn currently serves the barracks. Okay. 9 of the rooms are occupied, with the tent remaining clear for any surprise visitors that might happen. Okay, so there are people here. Most of the private chests contain nothing of value unless it's mentioned. Okay, so if we go to the common room, an uncomfortable atmosphere has permeated the inn. The entrance archway opens into a large room filled with bare tables, secluded sitting area, and a scarce bar. Along the windows, one lantern is lit, and sconces along the walls have been allowed to burn out of oil. The inn is quiet, save for an offensive tune of harp strings plucking. It's as if someone is attempting to fathom a song with little skill. The sound reaches downward from the upper floor, tumbling clumsily down the steps and echoing eerily around you. Wow. Again, it's like the text boxes are like on point, like really, really good. There are a few items in the common room that may be useful to us. There's a handheld mirror and an untouched note rests at the bar. The note reads as follows: Roland, if you live, meet me where all words linger. May this serve you to witness all horrors that should remain unseen. There's a bottle of oil behind the bar if you want to light the sconces. And there's a notice posted on the stairs states that Andres, Cadwalladir, Fiolid, Roland, and Vanarin have begun their rotation for the evening watch. So Andres is also part of the watch, like the city watch or the town watch, and then he's also part of the apothecary. They have like secondary tasks. Okay. Kitchen, cellar, root vegetables, collection of ale in the cellar are both in excellent form. All right, good to know. Era Holumian's room. The harpist continues its ghastly song while you... Oops, let me move this a little bit. While you ascend the stairs, once in the corridor, you can see a door ajar. Advancing further, the sound of snapping of a string strikes, and then another. The remainder collapse all at once, making a terrible crying sound that echoes around you. If we use a mirror to look into the room, we see the following. Peering into the room with a hand mirror, we see a gray and horrid figure sitting in the windowsill, with a broken harp before it. Curtain billow as its gaze snaps at your reflection. So again, there's really no one here. Like the people are, you only see them if you have a mirror. And these creatures are basically the skulks. Okay, it's the remains of Era Holimian and attacks if seen. There's a full-length mirror in the corner of the room covered by a sheet, so we can use that to fight this monster. All right, tricks of the trade, all that stuff. If we investigate the room further, we get a small journal belonging to Era Holimian. Look at 5D. We also uncover a tome under Era's pillow. It's bound in crimson cloth, entitled Heartbeats and Other Grand Illusions by A. Cortelhaven. An inscription on the flyleaf reads as follows: The world is but a dream in a glimpse of your beauty. Okay. And then a brush set with small handheld mirror can be found in the vanity. Plus one longbow can be found leaning on the dresser. There's a chest containing Era's personal belongings. It includes a silk dress, unsealed letter to her father explaining that she has run away from his tyranny, 19 silver pieces, and a bottle of common wine. If Saren is with the party, and the party has engaged with her, she comments on how Andros wrote about the songstress often. Perhaps a brewing love interest cut short by the horrors that occurred here. Aww. And now we get to Andres Nalio's room. There's a plaque on the door that reads Andres, Apothecary. Enter freely. When we attempt to open the door, we find that the room is locked. Okay? There's a key that we found at the farmhouse. We can also use thieves' tools to open it. And then when we open, the last room in the hall is occupied by shelves and tables covered in parchments, tomes, and potion bottles. The bed in the corner nearly goes unnoticed despite the disorder. It seems unnatural, the condition of the room. There are 2 full-length mirrors in the room, each positioned in a corner. And if Saren is with us, we add the following. Saren does not consider the mess long before commenting, it would seem his method of housekeeping has not changed since moving here. And we explore, we're going to read 5D and 5E in a bit. We find some information. So there's parchment pinned to the back of the door. So that's Appendix 5E. There's a letter half written by Andres to Brightdin, an officer rank. Is that not a name? Is that like a rank? I'm so dumb. I think it is. Brightdin. Oh, there's nothing. Welsh Brike. What is Brike? An arms officer, I think. Yeah, so Brightdin is an officer rank. So Brightdin Morris Bivin. He states that the creatures follow the schedules of their past selves. If they act quickly, we can destroy the curse before it leaves Dinigal. The letter is half scratched out with a closing statement scribbled, "They found you." Okay. And there's a potion of healing here, some coins, and with an investigation reveals that Andres was testing samples of flesh against a variety of unlabeled potions. They appear to have spoiled as if abandoned for some time, and uncovers a small scribbling of Andres' records indicating that he needs to move his work somewhere. It will be easier to safeguard from the shadows because of these skulks. Okay. So let's read the Appendix 5D and 5E. Alright. Oh man, this is, it has a lot of stuff here. No one comes to Dinigal presuming it to be pleasant. Despite this, I thought I could bring to this dark place. I was under the delusion my music and skill with the bow might make a difference. I was ready for cults, and I was prepared for floods and cold winters. I was not ready for this. Andres returned from his watch 2 evenings past. We all assumed he had turned mad. He was raving about Cadwaladar turning into a werewolf, perhaps infected from the last Black Blood raid we fought off. Roland escaped into the unknown, but Vanarin and Fiolid both suffered gruesome wounds before the 3 of them managed to retreat. Andres insisted that on their return to the outpost, Fiolid began to transform into a lycanthrope. But Vanarin, he claimed Vanarin, screamed and writhed as shadows consumed him before simply vanishing. We all thought him mad. I do not want to see when I begin to succumb. The gash is still seeping through my sleeve. Oh, yeah. I have covered my mirror, and I will play my melodies for the length of my remaining future. If you read this, be wary. If you are already here, you are already lost. I'm sorry. All right. And then the 5E one handout. Safe is a path before you, while shadows creeps and yowls behind. Carefully stepping here. They say my madness did unwind. 8 schools study here, alright? 8 schools of magic, but only 4 will help you move ahead, alright? It looks like a clue. Choose wisely, or you may end up perish instead. Search you must, 4 tomes of glory. I give 4 hints to the somber story. She sleeps upon the moon at night. Falling stars whisper what is right. Fire twists and turns on fingertips. A wave of his hand and light shall eclipse. Life passes to and fro. That from her soul doth flow. A word echoes, though never spoke. A bird flutters, but never work. Be quick, my friend, as time does thin. Let us hope this one's that light can win. Sounds like a puzzle. There's a lot of things involved, so I don't think we can. Let's see if we can do it or not. There's a lot involved here. There's a lot of handouts. So anyway, that is the parchment pin at the back of the door of Andres' room. And after that, we can go to the library if you want to go to the library. That's a lot. This is just a lot of stuff. So the bell tower above the library releases a chime over the outpost. There's probably another skulk here. Inferring there's 1 hour till dusk. Clouds above are starting to thin, letting the reddening light of the dimming sun pour over the spire like crimson wine or blood. The rain begins to cease, but not remarkably so. The library is on 2 stories high, made of cobbled stone with a wooden framework, but its bell tower secures the library's place as the focal point of the outpost. Its windows are dark and desolate. On entering the library, there are many lanterns that adventurers can ignite to illuminate the area. Okay, so we can have a map. We have a map on the main floor. Center, gathering point, community, some shelves knocked over. Got it. Guard station, higher floors. Nothing of interest. On further investigation, there are a few items of note that can be uncovered on the main floor. So let's look at those. There's a schedule on the captain's desk, indicates that all settlers and soldiers apart from the night watch are to report to the library at dusk. There's a report that Idwal Mordecai's corpse was found outside the outpost. Oh no, Mordecai's dead. Almost unrecognizable due to a brutal attack. The guards couldn't locate Feilana Halotel, who was supposed to be harvesting Crine by the lake. There's a letter written by Andres to Breckden Morris Bivin. He requests to return to duty, promising that his madness is subsiding. And with perception, reveals a bookcase against a southern wall of bookshelves. And inset into the stonework. There are 4 notches on the center shelf. And with an arcana, it reveals that they are magical elements to this bookcase. And the aspect of transmutation. Okay. We also reveal a small inscription in the wood that says the path before you. So this is probably the secret door to somewhere, right? If the adventurers wish to tackle the puzzle early, please refer to page 13. We are right now in page 11. So we're going to go back to that. Okay. Lac or Lake Dinegal. All right. So if we go to the lake, the water of Lac Dinegal is ink-like with the reflection of the clouds above, lapping cumbersomely at the shore where clumps of silver crine have been tossed out by the tide. Tips of crine bushes peek out of the water to let the silver leaves billow and whip in the breeze. With the rain breaking, the water is beginning to still. And between the ripples of raindrops, you can see the reflection of a decrepit and featureless humanoid wading in the shallows. The reflection turns its gaping face and lifeless eyes towards you, seizing your gaze. There's a skulk here. And oh, it's Feilana. She's dead. It automatically attacks as it's seen in the reflection of the lake. Okay. The lake is not deep here, but wading into the water is difficult terrain. Because of the reflecting water, all characters gain the benefit of a mirror counter to skulls. Okay. So we can see her. A tome rests by a hand plow discarded after recent usage. It's called Arcane Glimpses to Simplify Everyday Woes. Okay, so this is the last book that we saw in the handout. Okay. And development. Oh, we're done. That's a big one. That's a big part of the adventure. After exploring the village, we have defeated the skulks separately or realized that their best chance of defeating the skulk is to face them at the library when they gathered there at dusk. Per schedule of the captain's desk, if none of them suggest gathering that discover the mirrors for combat, we can proceed to part 3. The Veiled Meeting. This is 45 minutes. The library. So we're back at the library because I think like that's where the entrance is to something. So the library sits tranquil, barren of sound, apart from your breathing and movements. However, you know the remaining shadow beings will be here soon to commence in their ominous gathering. You have little under an hour to prepare. Okay. So if you're playing this, we can't really go take a long rest. So we should begin setting the stage for combat. We get Appendix 3D and let them decide which mirrors they wish to gather and when they would like to place them on the field. So we have Andar's room, we have mirror in the attic, the common room, Era's room, and other in rooms. 8.5 mirrors. Slate for cause and null impairment. Okay. Alright, okay. So it depends on what we have. Let's look at Appendix 3D so we know what the library looks like. This is our library. Reading room, meeting room, bookshelves. Alright, some toppled shelves. And the guard station. And there's a spiral staircase that leads to the... Oh, this is the cellar. So below there are columns. Okay. I guess we're not supposed to see this yet. So we're going back. The skulk. The cry of the bell tower echoes within the library, announcing the moment the sun meets the horizon. The vibrations have only started to fade before being replaced by the creaking of doors and windows. The mirrors reveal gray fingers hooking around sills and door frames. The lurking, wretched shadow creatures trudge into the library. The meeting has begun. This is kind of like a Silent Hill vibes. And it's variable depending on what the adventurers did. So if we killed these skulks during our exploration, so we reduce the number of skulks that are here. So the skulks cannot be seen except by reflection. That's why we need the mirrors. You must have a mirror present to pinpoint where their attack needs to strike. That's why we need them. We can have one hand free to use a handheld mirror in combat. All right. So if you have a longbow, great axe, great sword, you're probably not going to be able to use a handheld mirror. In combat, disadvantage. Okay, so this is what we have. So if there's a full-length mirror, we can get like advantage, disadvantage. We can cancel the skulk's advantage, disadvantage, depending on how big the mirrors are and the distance, basically. Add elements. So we're not really gonna need that. If adventurers haven't collected any of the books needed to solve Andra's puzzle, they drop during combat. So we got the 4 books. Let's see what happens here. Andra's puzzle. When the last creature perishes, the room fills with silence once more. There's a long moment of hesitation before a dull thump sound from across the room, paired with the rattle of a chain. If it had not been discovered previously, the sounds reveal the bookcase against the southern wall of the library bookshelves that is inset into the stonework. So there are 4 notches on the center shelves that seem to have made the whole specific books. So we know about like 4 schools of magic that we can use here. Reveals that there are magical elements in this bookcase. So transmutation. So probably there's a secret door that will open or change, like show up if we solve this. So with an arcana, reveals that there are magical elements. Okay, we read. I just read that. Reveals a small inscription: the wood, the path before you. Okay, we know that. With arcana, we allow the player to use any book in place of one of the unique books. A separate check is needed for each book. All right. To solve the puzzle, the adventurers must successfully find the tomes of magic Andres spoke of in his poem and place them in order of the shelf. The answers in order from left to right are as follows. So book 1 is divination because it's site of poem and prophecy. That's why it is divination. The second book is evocation because it's arcane glimpses to simplify everyday woes with frost and more. Okay? I was thinking more of fireball, but I guess like Cone of Cold. Is Cone of Cold a evocation spell? Or something storm? I forgot that spell. A touch of bone, necromancy, okay? And then heartbeats, illusion, so illusion, okay? So when we got all these books under an invisible weight before collapsing in on itself and vanishing, we see a stairwell stand before it. So, and a crisp breeze and the sound of clinking chains both echo upwards. Cone of Cold is evocation? Okay. And once we solve the puzzle, we go to part 4. All right, part 3 is pretty short. And part 4 is the final one. So I'm going to go back to 110. Part 4, 45 minutes, C3E for this scene. Okay. The floor is wet. Occasional pool of groundwater. Candlelight. Okay. So dim light. Obstacles. The candles are a hazard. If creature is slid or pushed into a candle, makes an action where they deem necessary. To prevent the candle, they make a dexterity check to prevent the candle from toppling and starting a fire amongst the stacks of parchment and paper in this area. Okay. Which deals 1d10 fire damage. All right, let's go through this. The stairwell uncovers an old cellar, which reeks pungently of wet paper, burning fat, and mold. There are candles balanced upon piles of books and tabletops, illuminating the room in an eerie crimson hue. Andres doesn't seem to notice your entry immediately. He stands bent over a table, his hands grasping the wooden surface on either side of the tome he is reading. A blue light pulses through his veins as he curses under his breath. If Saren is present, we add the following. Saren staggers back a step at the side of her son. Andres, she exclaims. What in the hells have you done to yourself? What has happened? So there are 2 skulls chained in the corner of the room, illuminated by an unusual candlelight. One tugs as its chains in greeting, as it immediately tries to lunge at the newcomers, to us. Andres is well into his rituals when we arrive. The arcane secrets have already driven him half mad, so he is going mad. And magic pulses through his blood, giving his snow-white skin a very faint blue tint. What is going on? Andres won't step back from his work, but he will engage in a conversation. He will tell us the following. The curse. Andres starts to babble about the grip of the black blood, ripping and festering in their Fey heritage. It is as they said, he claims. It's deeper within, the howling disease. He doesn't seem willing to divulge what he knows about the origins of the curse in coherent sentences. So, is it like saying here that lycanthropy has Fey origins? Or is it just the howling disease? The grip of the black blood ripping and festering in their Fey heritage. Need to take note of that. The necromantic tome. The tome before Andres is well aged and mold seeps through the pages, making them difficult to turn. No one took the time to mend the cover when mildew reached it long ago, likely due to the corrupt nature of the tome. It holds references to primal spirits and the Moonshaes. Earth Mother is a primal spirit. It holds references to primal spirit. Okay, he theorizes that many dark secrets have been lost in the book due to disrepair. Saren, he won't stop his attempts at the ritual. He forged his path long ago. He is sorry Saren has to witness him in this state, but hopes she will understand in the end. Why? What are you doing? Corpses, he believes the souls of his Fey comrades are trapped within the shadow corpses, cursed to live out a hollow and colorless version of their lives. He imagines that they are tremendous and unrelenting pain. So the skulks are trapped in the corpses, okay? Andres made the candles from the fat of unidentifiable corpses he found in the woods and has imbued them with arcane essence. He claims it was the only way to truly see the skulks. And the ritual claims that the ritual of solace can help those cursed by the howling disease, and it's almost complete. He does not believe he is powerful enough to cure or reverse the damage inflicted, but he may be able to aid the souls in their escape from their shadowy tombs that trap them. So is Andres helping the Fey creature that kind of possess the corpse of the villagers here? Or is the villager's soul trapped in their corpse and have turned Fey because of the curse? And that's what Andres is trying to free. I guess what I'm trying to say is Andres friends or like working to help the Fey? Or who he calls his friends, or when he say friends, like the villagers that live here that has that turn into skulks. We'll read more. After the parties had a chance to talk with Andres, this is what happens. Andres turns his tired eyes back to the tome. The time for discussion has ended, he claims. I must finish this. He begins to chant with the arcane runes etched into the page before him. Despite his thorough exhaustion, his voice commands the ancient elven tongue with ease. A skulk lunges again from the corner, snapping its constraints taut. Andres falters at the sound, which marks the moment of his demise. He clutches at his head as a scream rips through him. The pulsing blue fire pours out of his eyes and mouth as it tears him apart internally. His screams starts to overlap with each other, a harmony of horror as his flesh burns away. When the horrific sound fades, all that remains is a spectral image of Andres. It looks towards you with malice. And we'll be using the Alip stats and 2 skulks here. The one that was constrained a while ago. And Saren the Seer works against the party to save the last impression of her son. Okay, and I can totally understand that. All right. As she gets in their way and uses her action to block the attacks, granting disadvantage on attacks on the Alip. Okay. If the adventurers befriended Saren during the course of this adventure, she sees their reason and fights on the party's side instead. Alright, so there's a way to make her fight by your side. If they didn't befriend her, try to talk her out into it. You can make a persuasion check to do that. Okay. Okay, so this is more on combat, corpse scandal. Okay. Prophecy and madness. So once we kill like the ghost of Andras, this is what happens. The spectral image of Andras cries out as the concluding blow strikes. He crumples into the ground, grasping his head as he turns his unending gaze in search of the last victim. With the final shudder, he dissipates into nothingness, his struggle over. The adventurer who suffered Andra's final gaze is compelled to move to a table and scribe the words flowing through their mind. Oh, this is very cool. I like this tactic. There is no save against this effect. The word stings and needs to be released. The written words read as follows. An eye turns in the mist as dark blood boils and churns. Vengeance and rippling death will quake through the noblest fey. Endless shadows will howl as reality unbinds, crying to the darkness that waits in veiled lands. Alright, let me read that again. I'm trying to understand what it says. An eye turns in the mist. An eye turns in the mist as dark blood boils and churns. There's vengeance and rippling death that will quake through the noblest fey. Noblest fey, I'm thinking the Lachey of the Moonshaes. Endless shadows will howl as reality unbinds. This is probably the start of the Rising Shadows campaign or storyline, crying to the darkness that waits in veiled hands. Oh. So this is like, I'm assuming this is kind of like a prophecy to whatever's going to happen in the Rising Shadows. Right? So Andra's work is unfinished, but we can actually attempt to complete the ritual of solace. The glow of the corpse candle lights Andra's workstation in an uneasy hue. Glancing over the scrolls and texts, it's apparent his ritual was near completion. It may even be close enough to solve yourselves, should you find it worth the risk. If we do Arcana, okay. If we keep failing, we get like madness. Alright. And then what happens after? A spectral fire illuminates over the fallen creatures as the spell is cast and the torment on your mind ends. There's a sigh that echoes from within the still lungs. A relief that their souls are released from their dreadful shadow prisons. We did it. We cured the howling disease. Saren inhales sharply, pausing to compose herself before letting her breath release. There is a tremor in her hand, but she hides it well. Thank you, she says in an uncharacteristically quiet voice. It means a great deal to me that you finish his work. I will never hold him again, but at least I know his efforts were not in vain. And with the last investigation check, we can find some gold pieces, tiger eyes, and a small pouch with coins. And with the conclusion of this adventure, we have a choice to make. So with Earl Orwin, though there is a palatable relief in Kaer Morhen that the howling disease in Dinagal has been contained, an uncovered prophecy reveals an issue is deep-rooted. Evil boils in the moon wells. Their accomplishments in Dinagal do not go unnoticed by the Earl. The loss of life is unfortunate, but they can rebuild as they have many times before. Okay. And then Saren accompanied the group, and they solved the ritual. She volunteers to take her son's work back to Chrysalis in the hopes that the sages there can continue Andra's work we know now as well, the ritual as fellow sages, and perhaps find a cure. In recognition for their work, any of us who are members, any of the characters that are members of Seraphil Faithful, she gives those characters endless deeds to the farmstead in Dinigal. Oh, in recognition for their work, if any of the characters are members of the Seraphil Faithful faction, she gives those characters endless deeds to the farmstead in Dinigal. We get a piece of land. Good news, you now own a piece of land in the Moonshae Isles. Bad news, it's in the Isle of Moray. We have a farmstead now. It's all yours. It's legally bind. You have this legally binding document. You now have a piece of land in the Moonshae Isles, but it is in the Isle of Moray, and it's outside of Caer Moray. If you plan to live there, let me know. If Saren accompanied the group and it didn't solve the ritual, she stays in Dinigal to bury the skulks and mourn the loss of her son. He spends her time picking through the belongings to make sense of the final moments of his life. And with that, that's the end of the adventure. We did it. 2.5 hours. All right, that's good. So, longbow +1. An elven bow of excellent craftsmanship. Its limbs are carved from dark wood with silver runes decorating its length. The silver work seems to be part of an old elvish poem. Seamless dreams tied through fleeting hands, as upon the wind she toils with a felon thread, whispering mellowed breath upon bonds of silver. Wow. It's really good. I like this long. Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's just +1. This is a really good, flavor-wise. This is a really good bow. Long bow. And Dreams of Prophecy. These are the story awards that we can get, basically. So, the maddening impulse to write the words echoing in your head has long faded, but that doesn't stop them from visiting your dreams along with visions of dark woods and whispered chants. Okay. Hero of Dinigal, wrapped in silver ribbon with a red seal, is a letter from the Earl. Okay. Acknowledging your heroic deeds at Dinigal. The letter has little value but is sure to provide bragging rights at any tavern in Moray. Like, hey, the Earl himself thanked me. Here's proof. The story, okay. And then Farmstead. For your efforts to finish her son's life work, Saren of the Leeward has given you the deed to a farmhouse near Dinigal on the Isle of Moray. Good luck living there. Downtime, renowned organizations. Tybee Gao is a member of the Kendrick Loyalists, a group that believes that Moonshae Isles will be stronger if unified under Common King. Tybee approaches any characters who seems to share the tenets and encourages. Alright, I think this is a typo. Or they forgot to change this. I think in previous adventure, it's supposed to be Tybee Gao, right? If you want to be part of the Kendrick Loyalists, this is supposed to be for Saren and the Faithful of Seraphil. But they didn't change this part. I think, because we didn't have any interaction with any Kendrick Loyalists. So we have that. Okay. And then Dinigal, Andras, Saren, NPCs, stats. So we have Moonshae, Isle of Gwenet, Moray. Okay, you have that. The Farmstead, Dinigal, Library. This is the final fight. Madness table, short-term, long-term madness. Okay, we've read this. Read that. Read this. And magic item that we can give to the players. We can also give this to the players. The story award. Okay. And that is it. I think. Yeah, this is the last page. After that, there's no more. That's it. And with that, we are done with the Army of the Unseen. Now we know why they are the unseen. Good job, everyone. So, how does it connect with Moon2-1? So, in Moon2-1, the Black Bloods are attacking Kaer Morhen, so we need to kind of fend them off. Here, the next one, we get to go outside the walls of Kaer Morhen. We go to Dinigal, and we find out that there's a stronger lycanthrope curse called the Howling Disease. And we kind of found a cure for that. But it also gave us a prophecy of these shadows hiding in the veil. Perhaps they will be rising in the near future. Right? Are they involved with the slain that we've read in the other Moon 1 adventures? Probably. We'll see. But, oops. Where is this? But that is the end of this adventure module. That's a 4-hour adventure. We read through it for 2.5. Do I like it? The writing is just wow. Quality of it, it's great. Like the poems, the clues, the what's this? The what do you call this? The box text, the read aloud text, that one is like so good. Yeah, and how like the description of the areas, I like that. As the when you play the game, you have exploration, you go around, you look for the unseen. It's a good adventure, I would say. Yeah. Oh, the slain, those slain by the Black Bloods and now cursed to wander like these skulks. Probably. I know what the slain is, are, they, whatever it, but I'm not gonna give any clues. But that can be a good guess. Yeah, I consider that a good guess. Yeah, we'll see if you're right. But yeah, remember in like 1-2 to 1-5, they talk about the slain, right? And the slain sworn, like those who follow the slain that has invaded Kaer Calidir. We have that. And we're done. We're done with this. So tomorrow, I'm hoping. So here's what's happening. So it's the new year, holidays. It's my son's birthday. There are people coming, visiting, all that stuff. So as long as our schedule is free, or I might have a D&D game, because the D&D game happens at night. So if everything is clear, nothing's happening, then Monday to Thursday is our schedule. Okay. So we'll read more, learn more about the Rising Shadows, learn more about the Moonshae Isles. Again, the Rising Shadow storyline is the latest thing that has happened in the Moonshae Isles in the 5E, or at least in the Adventures League campaign. Is this canon? Technically, no, because this is not an official work of Wizards of the Coast. This is made by Baldman Games, which is one of the premier organizers of Wizards of the Coast, but they are not Wizards of the Coast. So It's not. But the thing here is, if we follow the lore, we follow everything that has happened here, it makes a cohesive story. It less we can confuse the players that play these adventures and the future adventures. And just in case a Wizard of the Coast goes and says, you know what, looking at this, they're pretty good, let's make them canon. Higher chance of them saying that. So that's why we're reading all of this, making sure everything is connected, everything is aligned. And yeah, that is it. Tomorrow, what are we gonna read tomorrow? I actually want to check. So tomorrow, let me pull up the Rising Shadow Adventures. Moon2-2 is The Eye in the Mist. The Eye in the Mist. That's the third adventure. This is the conclusion to the Moon2 trilogy. After this, we're going to move to the Moon3 series. So we're making progress. Good progress. So yeah, tomorrow maybe stream, and if we are, we're checking out. So this week are this week they're all like maybe streams, but like a lot of things are happening. But I'll do my best, because again, the key here is consistency. We need to learn the lore. All right, I need to show Savannah, Eric, the players, and even myself that I know a lot about the Moonshae Isles, and this is how we're gonna learn. That I am a lore sage of the Moonshae Isles, and if you have the same goal as me, then Mondays to Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Manila time. Feel free to stay here, just hang around. If you're driving, about to go to sleep, working, cooking, or coding, whatever it is, or reading something, watching something, feel free to just have this open, put it in the background, and learn some Moonshae lore together with us here with Chat and me. And in the future, we'll be lore master sages of the Moonshae Isles. That is it for today, and tomorrow we'll see you, hopefully. Good stuff. Building IKEA furniture 10/10. All right. 10 out of 10. Good job. So yes, this is the perfect stream to watch or listen to while building putting together furniture. So good job. Good to know. I'll see you tomorrow. Moon2-2. Thanks, everyone. Again, this is DMPaulG. You can find me. This is my socials here. There we go. Find me there. And if you want to talk about the stream or want to know if a stream is happening or not, schedules and everything like that, feel free to join my Discord server, because most of the time that's where I chat. And I know if you join there, it's a pretty quiet server. Like in the Moonshaes, there's a lot of hidden rooms and veils and all, but the more that joins that server, the more people will have talking there. So join, interact, whatever. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you tomorrow, everyone. Bye-bye. See you in Moray soon. Bye-bye.